Yeah. So you're saying like let's just not talk about football today?
Honestly, like there's nothing really coming up. I mean, like what's going on for either of our teams? Like I'm just saying if we could talk about bocce ball, like I feel like
Ooh.
that would be something that could bring us together.
Curling, maybe. The
Oh,
Winter Olympics are there. I forgot they were happening soon.
they're happening soon. I mean, it is technically winter. Do those have? Is that in like a couple months, or
Yeah.
is that? Is that?
Sean White being the tomato, that's really confusing.
They should really try to snowboard during the summer, and I just want to see them go down
Ooh.
hills of gravel,
Yeah.
and I just think it would make it more interesting.
And mountain bike up. I want them mountain biking up.
Yes, they should. They should be going up, but it's also during the winter.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just a sheet of ice. Like someone comes.
Ooh.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? That's right. We're here for another edition of the Grossi Perna Show, otherwise known as GPS. Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna. Brandon Perna being reborn. We're here, folks, to talk about the Green Bay Packers taking on the LA Rams in the NFC Championship game. That's right, as well as the Buffalo Bills taking on the Broncos in the AFC Championship game. It's going to be a wild ride this weekend. Oh, man.
Oh.
I'm just hoping Super Bowl 32, the matchup is the same. But Perna, we're going to get you this time.
Yeah. Everything we believed in died this year, Tom. Everything we believed in. All right. I know you're upset. First of all, get your shit together. Second of all, I made you something that might make you feel better, Tom.
Oh.
I made you a little something that you can use whenever you want.
Oh.
Meow. Meow. Or meow. Whichever you desire for your kitties going meow all the way to the Super Bowl.
You know what? I feel better now. I feel
so.
a whole lot better. That's it. That's it. Kamara, you get Kamara and a first. I get only Justin Jefferson.
Oh.
On. I've been offered a trade. You give up Kamara and a first. No, I wouldn't do that. For a wide receiver, you give up a running back and a first? No. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question there is like how effective will Kamara be moving forward without Drew Brees? Maybe if you could just do maybe a second or third.
Or maybe
yeah,
you can throw in other things like blood oranges.
Ooh. Or maybe you go to Draftkings and get real money, and then you pay the Saints to keep Kamara. You give them a little extra cash using code GPS, link in the description when you sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook to take advantage of all their can't-miss offers, especially this weekend with the championship games and 56-1 odds on any team. If you bet just $5, you can turn it into $280 in free bets if you're a new customer.
Read faster. Read faster.
Read faster. One breath. Not a new customer. You can experience a conference championship game with same game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game, bigger payout. The more legs, the more money you can win. DraftKings, safe, secure, reliable, and best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want.
Not quite my tempo. Not quite my tempo. Where's the chair?
That's right. Bet just $5 on any NFL playoff game, and DraftKings will give you if you win $280 in free bets.
They're gonna re-up our contract so hard,
so hard.
So hard.
Everyone can play for Yedge. cash prizes with DraftKings daily fantasy football contests. So your Alvin Kamara fantasy, go into DraftKings, buddy, and set Kamara and Justin Jefferson in a lineup. Obviously not this weekend because they're not in the playoffs, but maybe you put
Packers are.
Yeah. Maybe you put in Tyreek Hill and Jamar Chase in a lineup. See what happens there. You can do that with Daily Fantasy. Code GPS, link in the description.
Jibs.
Check it.
Check it. 1, 2. Let's go.
You know what's funny, Tom, about
It's funny.
you saying, Packers versus the Rams for the championship game? Every time when I'm working on the outline or the description or filling out the info, I keep going to write Packers versus for the team. I'm like, they're not in the playoffs anymore. I've been doing it all week because we expected them to be there. And
well, joke's on you, Perna, because it would be somebody versus Packers because we clinched home field advantage. So maybe you should get it together, Brandon.
Whatever.
Okay?
I don't
maybe
care.
You should get it together.
I don't care about the order. You think I care about the order?
Home game goes second. The home team goes second in the list.
Yeah. Bang, bang, Niner gang in the house.
No.
Although we do not support gangs. Because Tom and I were never tough enough to get into one.
What?
A gang. I tried to join so many gangs and everybody's like, no.
No, stop. I mean, do you think you could just pull up to a high school and if you give them cigarettes, maybe you'd be allowed?
Yo, am I in or what?
And they'll be like,
this is social studies.
Who smokes cigarettes? We're vaping, bruh.
I'm your teacher.
That's what? Just selling you guys some Lucy's. What's going on? What's good?
I know you smoke, Mr. Woodley.
Yeah. This show's got off the rails completely already, and we're not even 10 minutes in, and I love it.
We're tired of football.
It's just, now I'm feeling it. Just, I put out a reaction video every day. I'm just so tired now.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
Tom needs a vacay.
Yes, Jim. Yes. Listen, Kitty goes meow all the fracking way.
Ooh.
All the way.
Time
Harambe, rest in
Harambe.
peace.
Man.
Harambe. Rest
Talk
in
about
peace.
old school internet, Virality. When did he die?
I feel like it wasn't that long ago. I feel like it was within the last 5 to 8 years.
Yeah. See, that's.
But it also could have been 25 years ago with the way that these past couple years have been going. So, either one works. All right, Brandon Perna, we got lots to talk about. Obviously, you got the 2 championship games that are at our feet on Sunday. And all I'm going to be thinking of, wow, I think the Packers, 2016 is when Harambe died. See, it's not that long ago. So
it feels like it was 2012.
Okay. There's only 2 presidential elections ago.
What month did he die?
I don't know. Is Jimmy G to start next season?
God, that's crazy. If they win the Super Bowl,
dude, offload him and get every pick you possibly can. What's gonna be funny though? All right, so how Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl and then got paid a cajillion dollars, right? May of 2016, he died. By the way, May.
Joe Flacco.
No, Harambe.
Mile High Flacco, baby.
There you go. Mile High Joe.
Live in my heart forever.
Now, here's the thing. During that playoff stretch with the Ravens, he played really good football.
Dude, it's an insane stretch.
Yeah. He was one of the main factors that because of why they won a Super Bowl.
100%.
The thing is, if Jimmy Garoppolo, if they win a Super Bowl, I mean, can you point to Jimmy G for the first 2 playoff games and go, yeah, I would trade a first round pick for you? Even if they win a Super Bowl, does that up his price considering how he's performed thus far in the Super Bowl?
I think it helps. Yeah, I think it does help his trade value. They're in the reverse. They're in a similar situation as the Packers, but with reverse, I guess, potential. So there's a lot. People believe there's a ton of upside to Trey Lance. They watch Jordan Love play one game. They're like, oh, this guy ain't it. This guy ain't it. Maybe, hopefully somebody can save him. The Niners have said they're going to trade Jimmy G. And Jimmy G's like, well, I'm just going to win you a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers wanted the trade, allegedly, and he gets bounced in the first game. But Rodgers will command more in trade value than
MVP.
Jimmy G. Even if Jimmy G wins a Super Bowl, it is like the NFL is weird, like when you're looking at it, because everybody puts so much emphasis on Super Bowl victories, right?
Mhm.
Like the reason Tom Brady's the GOAT, is because of all the Super Bowl wins. And if Jimmy G goes and wins one, people are like, trade that guy now, trade him. It is such an overvalued way of projecting success on a quarterback to just look at Super Bowls. Now you got to be consistent. You got to show up when it's time.
Sure.
And that's one thing Tom Brady did with the Patriots every year with a good team around him. So like the 49ers, good team, good coach. If they believe Trey Lance can get him more victories, they've already said they're going to trade Jimmy G. Jimmy G's making that better for him. It's they should be smarter than the Ravens and get extra picks ones they gave up.
I feel like if they win a Super Bowl, it's like not even going to be a conversation because it's like, oh, we got a Super Bowl. So now let's trade him while his stock is really high. And let's hopefully get something with Quattro Lance, who we traded the entire farm for.
Yeah.
So I think it makes a lot of sense. I think that Jimmy G in his first 2 games hasn't really improved his stock in terms of like what he could command. However, if he performs well in the championship game and the Super Bowl, that stock's going to go up even higher. So I think the 49ers are in a great position because, I mean, they could win a Super Bowl in just a few weeks and then offload a QB, get a lot of that draft capital back that they traded to get Trey Lance, and then, be rocking and rolling. They're not going to be potentially in a position where if Trey Lance doesn't work out, they're screwed because they gave up, the first round picks.
Yeah. And they're going to pay Jimmy G almost 27 million next year. But if they cut him, his dead cap hits 1.4 million, which they're not going to just cut him. Like if they can't get what they want from Jimmy G and they decide, you know what, the worst thing on earth is it's not the worst thing on earth to keep Jimmy Garoppolo for one more season and let Trey Lance sit again and learn some more. Like they could do that too and then move on from Jimmy G after that. So they're in a very unique situation. Now they have to beat the Rams this weekend and then they go to the Super Bowl and what happens there, who knows. But I think Jimmy G, it's a really interesting offseason. There's so many quarterbacks I think that are interesting this offseason.
Oh, dude, it's
guys like
wild.
Mitch Trubisky, even like that's interesting to me.
MVP.
Is Kirk Cousins gonna get dumped and moved somewhere? Like, I don't know.
$45 million. 45. I don't think they can though. If they give if you look at his contract, just real quick before we start getting,
they got to trade. They have to find a trade partner for him.
Yeah,
they will eat so much money by cutting him, and he's not a bad quarterback either. Like he's just not an elite quarterback.
Look at that.
I mean,
look at that. 45 million, and then he's a free agent. He's only 34. Why does he seem so much older? So much older. Hey. All right. Before we jump into the individual matchups, I want to ask you, Brandon Perna. There's 4 teams left. Which Super Bowl matchups do you want to see in ranking order from yes, I want to see this. This is my preferred Super Bowl, all the way down to I don't want to see that Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think the number one I want to see is Rams versus Bengals.
Ooh.
Because I'll feel okay with whoever wins that Super Bowl.
All right, that's odd.
In terms of game that I think I want to see, Rams versus Chiefs.
Oh, dude,
Seems
that'd
like
be
it would
such a fun game. That'd be such a fun game. Just like put up 56 points each.
Yeah. Like Stafford's playing really well. Like right now, Stafford completing 74.5% of his passes this postseason, 4 touchdowns,
Yep.
0 picks.
Yep.
And he's hitting a lot of those deep balls. He
Yep.
is picking apart defenses. I think he would have success against the Chiefs. So, yeah, I think that would be the most interesting game. The least interesting might be probably 49ers Chiefs. I don't want to see that just because
a rematch of
rematch, and it feels like, I mean, I would be rooting really hard for the Niners there, but it feels like the Chiefs might just like blow them out. Might just run away with that. So that leaves is the third is just 49ers Bengals.
Yep.
Now that's a classic. Like if the Bengals were able to get their first Super Bowl win against the Niners, that's kind of poetic.
It's funny because I think like the best game on paper, like just in pure, like you said, with matchup is Rams versus Chiefs. But like, I don't know, because of the craziness of like the NFL, I'm just pulling for the Bengals at this point. Like I want to see a new team win it. And if that's going to be the Rams, like, you know, I'll be happy for Stafford, but I don't know. Like it's just, I would hate for the season to end. And like you said, it's like the Chiefs 49ers and the Chiefs just blow them out. And you're like, okay, that's the end of the season. After all that, like the Chiefs just win again. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just kind of will feel like a little bit of a letdown.
It's like if the Rams are such an uninteresting franchise being in LA, crapping on like if they're still in St. Louis, you kind of have something to pull for there. And it sucks because I love Sean McVay, love Matthew Stafford, rooting for Von Miller. Aaron Donald's incredible to watch. Like I wish the Rams were just like a different team somewhere, you know what I mean? That I could pull from a little bit more based on location. But since they're in LA and the NFL is just trying to force LA down our throat, and LA is just like, we don't really care. We don't need a football team here. We've got Brad Pitt. Like, we're fine.
We can just look at him for 3.5 hours.
Yeah. But this weekend should be fun. I mean, I hope something surprising happens, something shocking happens. Like, I want everybody to just be like, what the hell did we just see? Kind of like last week, Chiefs Bills, and it'll probably come from the 49ers Rams game because it feels like that one might be less dynamic, which is why it might. That one is primed to maybe surprises, but I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing. I just hope that the AFC Championship is like a good game. Like that's kind of what I'm pulling for at this point. The Rams are weird. Like they have like that super team. Like they can be really good, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. That almost lost to the Buccaneers. I was like, oh, this is taking a lot of wind out of the sails. Like, it's like, oh, this team might not be good. Like, there's a part of me that goes, the Chiefs blow out whoever they face. Like, we might have seen like the best game of the postseason.
Yeah, that's what kind of sucks. Bills Chiefs was like, oh, it peaked. It peaked just a little bit early.
Just a little bit. Yeah. I mean, yeah, OBJ and Crowley. Like, there's a lot of people on the Rams. Like, again, I like Cooper Kupp a lot. I love Van Jefferson, Matthew Stafford, Von Miller. Aaron Donald chokes people, so I'm not a huge fan. Like, I mean, if you're into it, no kink shaming. But
if Aaron Donald chokes Tyreek Hill in the Super Bowl, totally worth it. Totally worth it.
I just want to, I don't know. I think the 49ers Rams game will be better than the Bengals one. But again, the Bengals Chiefs had a really fun matchup the first time that they played this season. So if we can get another game like that, that's going to come down to like the last second, I'm okay with that. Like I'm good.
When I'm like with Bengals Chiefs, what I'm worried about is, so Cincinnati in that game against the Titans, just like 10, I think they had 10 pressures, the Bengals. And that's not indicative of how well their defensive front has played this season. But the Bills got 28 pressures on Mahomes.
They did.
And the problem with Mahomes and pressures is it doesn't mean shit because he can escape the pressure.
Yeah.
And we saw him do it. So I'm a little bit worried about that matchup for Cincinnati because I think that has to be really good. The Rams, 28 pressures on the Buccaneers. You know, that's Tom Brady. That's a guy who gets rid of the ball quickly. They were missing their left tackle. But it's like, who can slow down the opposing quarterback unless it's Jimmy G will slow down himself. So the Rams don't have to worry about that. But
Yeah.
they just have to worry about choking to the 49ers, which they're very, very good at doing.
Yes, that is 100% accurate.
What's the game you want to see? You asked me, and I didn't return the favor.
That's all right. That's fine. Baby, I just wanted you to feel good.
I'm very selfish.
I want you to get the spotlight.
God, I love myself.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of game, it would be Rams Chiefs, but I'm not going to lie. Like, I'd want to see the Bengals in it regardless. Like, I don't care who they face, but I'd want the Bengals to win regardless of who they're going up against. Because if the Bengals somehow, first of all, think of that upset. Like, if they're able to go into Arrowhead in the AFC Championship game, if you're a Bills fan, are you happy about that? Or are you like pissed off because you're just like, it could have been like we could have done that. Like we could have gone. I don't know. Bills fans might be a little conflicted there.
That's a good question. Like, will the Bengals win destroy the souls of Bills fans?
Yeah, it's like, oh, the Bengals can win. The Bengals, like they're technically rebuilding.
Yeah,
but, yeah, and like Patrick Mahomes just throws like 4 interceptions. He just plays like the worst game of his career.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Can you imagine? Like, it's literally goes from one of the best games of his ever like playoff performance, and then it's just like, oh, I just crapped the bed completely. Everybody fumbles. Like, the Bengals win like 85-0.
Yeah, it's disgusting how good he's been in the playoffs, Mahomes, and it's even worse knowing Josh Allen was just as good. And like, people will forget about that. Like, they'll forget about Josh Allen being good in that game.
Yeah,
100%. Not in with like the year, but like in 2 years, maybe 3 years. Like I said, I had a family member who was like, "Yeah, Peyton Manning was just a game manager for the Broncos." Totally forgetting that they set all of the offensive records in 2013. Like, if you don't win the Super Bowl, people will forget everything you did. It sucks.
Tom, that's amazing. That would be amazing.
Oh, there we go. Tom,
that's
where
what
your
I'm
head's
talking
at.
about.
Like where your head's at.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, uncultured, we might be heading towards a rebuild. I think there's some excitement in there. I'm just going to say that excitement's going to die down really quick if Jordan Love sucks, which is a big if, but if that happens, the rebuild is not going to be as fun. And I think it's funny because right now we're at a point where it's so divisive, in which it's like, I want Aaron Rodgers back or I don't want Aaron Rodgers back. I guarantee you that if we don't have Aaron Rodgers back, there's going to be some people going, oh, I wish we had him back.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's going to be it's going to be a very interesting offseason because it's really going to dictate what the future of the Packers are going to look like for the next like 5 years. So
there's one of your dudes was in my Patreon Zoom meeting last night, David, and he's ready to move on from Rodgers. And I think there's a decent amount of Packers fans who are ready to move on. And that kind of surprised me a little bit.
So I think it, and we talked about this, I think it's the matter of like his comments that were made during the season, I think really like turned people up. I mean, it's funny because I'll never forget when I went to Green Bay in August, right? So this is before like the COVID stuff and like all that. Like, I had an Uber driver that was saying, you know, when Favre left, you know, we all still love Favre. Yeah, he went to the Vikings and that was bad, but we forgave him and stuff like that. There's a lot of people who are legit saying, I don't like Rodgers because he came off as like cocky or arrogant or smug. And then the comments happened this year. And then that kind of just piled on. Like, if you didn't like Aaron Rodgers heading into the season as a Packers fan, it didn't help usually this season. So, I mean, again, I think that you can maybe separate, you know, what he said. And, you know, I think that people are tired of the drama. But I will say in terms of the talent that Aaron Rodgers brings, it's likely we're not going to have that in Jordan Love, just because I think that's an unfair, like he could be really good. I'm just saying, I think that's an unfair expectation because he is one of the best to ever play the position.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out real quick what this Packers team looks like without Aaron Rodgers, and you might not like it.
Give me the drama. As somebody who's been watching a team with no drama for 3 years, just middle of the road, not horrible enough to really be like crazy bad and let's just embrace being horrible, not good enough to believe in, steady quarterbacks who never say or do the wrong thing. Like the most crazy thing any Broncos player has done is Drew Lock dancing on the sideline after playing well. Like that's been our highlight, is Drew Lock mouthing rap lyrics. That's all we got. So give me smug, give me cocky, give me somebody who's going to say crazy stuff. I don't care. If it makes watching Broncos football more interesting, I will take it. And that, like, I like that about Rodgers. I'm not saying I agree with it, but he doesn't hide who he is.
He just doesn't care anymore, which is kind of like refreshing in a way.
I love it.
It's just like
you wish you were saying shit you agreed with.
Sure, but like, I mean, everyone is like that. It's a matter of, though, like, oh, he's beyond not caring anymore. Yeah. Like he does not give a single crap, and it's kind of great to see. It's just a matter of like what he's saying, and it's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
And the thing that's unfair about the treatment Rodgers gets, is he'll say something controversial, but he'll also say something. He'll make decent points within what he's saying. But there's like one thing that's really wrong and people just focus on it. It's like, well, he actually said some other stuff that kind of makes sense there.
Sure.
But let's just forget about that. My point is, so Rodgers, he's embracing who he is. We're seeing more of who he is. And he doesn't care about hiding it, doesn't care how it comes off. Other quarterbacks, like the reason guys like Tom Brady always rub me the wrong way. I like him more now in Tampa. I really do. But it's like they're putting on this fake front about always being like, I don't know, uncontroversial. Never say, like, always saying the right thing after a certain amount of time. You're just like, I've heard it before. So I find it interesting. I'm not saying it's right, but
I mean, the time that I like Tom Brady the most is when he was pissed drunk off avocado.
Yeah.
Like, was it tequila, vodka, whatever? In the Super Bowl after party, like I was all about that. Like my man is throwing a Lombardi to another boat and is being like escorted off, and I'm like, he's Florida man now. He did it.
Florida man.
Someone asked about Mac Jones. We're gonna get to the games, I promise. Someone asked about Mac Jones. And I mean, I think they were saying if he was outdated. I don't think he is, because I think it's all about the system, and I think he's perfect for the Patriots right now. Obviously near the end of the season, he struggled with some throws, turnovers, what have you. But I mean, it's his rookie year. And again, I will still argue he had the best rookie season, right? Out of all the other QBs. I mean, you look at Trevor Lawrence, you look at, good God, you look over at the Jets and Zach Wilson. That's a struggle. Trey Lance played like 5 seconds.
Davis Mills was his closest competitor in terms of how well he played.
Yep. So, I don't know. But yeah,
if Davis Mills was a Patriots quarterback, Patriots would be in the championship game. Suck it.
There you go. Done.
Take it.
That's
put it on ESPN. Give it to me.
Well, look, and regret moving on from Brett sooner. No, definitely not. Rodgers wasn't ready. He wasn't like that's the thing. I implored people when they came out with like Love, go back and watch Aaron Rodgers in like the first 3 years in preseason. Good God, that guy stunk up the place. He looks like a completely different quarterback where he's throwing the ball, his footwork, he was inaccurate. It was ugly, like really ugly. So again, I'm old school in the way I think QB should sit behind, a veteran QB if you have one. So like, I don't hate what they're doing with Trey Lance. However, my argument is like, you traded up for him like a tremendous amount. The Packers gave up a 4th rounder, right? Like you basically sold the farm, and for him to not get a lot of game experience, and when Jimmy G was hurt, you really just didn't have another option. But my point is that No, I don't think they regret moving on from Favre. I know there's like if you put in Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game against the Giants, in that second half, do they win? And maybe they do, maybe they don't. I mean, that's the what if game. But no, moving on from Favre, I think that they actually made the right decision because otherwise, it was very risky of Ted Thompson to do that. Bring him back, and putting Aaron Rodgers up there. Oh yeah, I already liked it. It was great. It was great. It is a myth. It's a myth. So,
memes being made live during the show. I think we've made it, Tom. I think we've made it.
I'm pretty sure this is how we secure millions of dollars from DraftKings.
Damn right.
I'm pretty sure that's how it happens. We should call Pat McAfee and ask how he did it. And just be like, hey,
he's like, yeah, Pat McAfee, will you promote DraftKings for us?
Yeah.
Come on, Pat.
I'm sure he would say yes. It'd be fine.
I'm going to DM him and see what he says.
Okay. You and him are friends, so.
Yeah, he loves me. Anyway, DraftKings Sportsbook is America's top-rated sportsbook app. One of the best. And this week with Super Bowl 56 coming up in 3 weeks, they're giving you 56-1 odds on the championship games.
Ooh.
New customers can bet $5. And if your team wins, you're going to win $280 in free bets. That's free bets, baby. DraftKings is so good, Tom Grossi will put on his sunglasses upside down. And maybe your world will go from being upside down to right side up if you hit big with same game parlays. Also, yeah, now we can see clearly because you're a winner with DraftKings. Look, not every state has legalized sports betting. And that's really sad. That's why Tom is crying. But don't be too sad because you can do daily fantasy football. Only 2 weekends left to do daily fantasy football in the NFL. So take advantage of their huge cash prizes. You just got to use our code GPS. We got a link in the description. When you sign up for DraftKings, use GPS. And also, when you go to your local grocery store and you're checking out, just say, hey, code GPS to the cashier. And when they go, what? Give them the middle finger and say, give me my discount and my 280 in free bets. And if they don't kick you out, well, cool. DraftKings. Nailed it. End scene.
I think that was the best read we've ever done.
Yeah, we're doing it.
I think we're crushing it. I think we're absolutely. Oh yeah, so Dan Quinn apparently has been signed to a multi-year extension.
Yeah,
maybe two swords, maybe.
I heard, man, I saw a tweet. I don't know if it's true. I can't even track it. Did Quinn interview in Chicago? He did, right?
Yes.
Somebody was saying he didn't get that job because he suggested trading for Russell Wilson.
Oh.
Now, that's probably just a rumor, probably not true. Dan Quinn decided to go back to the Cowboys shortly after the Broncos announced their head coach. And he
coincidence, I think.
We believe the leading candidate to get the job. Multi-year extension, though, from Dallas. Probably pretty lucrative, knowing all the money they have. Quinn basically was able to make a lifestyle decision. Hey, make a lot of money, just coaching defense, less stress, less blame when things go wrong. Hell yeah, gonna do it. For the next hour, I will just be talking nonstop while Tom Grossi interprets what I say. Masturbation. Nice. Wasn't expecting that, but it was better than I would have hoped.
Oh, man. Did Benkert use NordVPN? Wait, Perna, do you get sponsored by them?
No. I had a VPN sponsor a couple years ago.
Nope.
Might have been Nord. I can't remember.
I didn't. They're in my emails. They're in my mentions. And I'm like, nope, don't want it. The only thing I'm going to do is rage shout. I'm not going to do that either. I'm not going to do that either. I'm not. All right. Let's talk about these games.
I did raid, baby.
That's it.
They
That's
paid
it.
dumb money for like one-off videos.
Oh, dude, they pay stupid money. They've offered me like an insane amount of money. And I'm like, nah, it's stupid. Thanks, though.
I actually then I played that thing on my phone for a couple months. I actually played it for a while.
Did you?
I got hooked. It's
Dude,
stupid.
I still play Clash of Clans. That's the only game I play on my phone. It's the only one. But I've been rocking with that for years.
Yeah.
If Clash of Clans was like, hey, do you want to sponsor? I was like, yeah, I'll show off my Town Hall 14. Sure, why not? That's it.
Man, this I played that Simpsons game too, where you build the Springfield up.
Yes.
If they would. I mean, a Simpsons sponsorship, I would definitely take. But
100%. I'm just saying we should go after sponsors, like beanie sponsors. I don't even know which ones, but I'm sure you know, like League in Colorado. It's Beanie Life. It's beanie season the majority of the year.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what beanies are really good, you know, and we'll go after them. Yep. I think the days, you know, that's another thing that we could potentially demonstrate live on air. Like if they have that in a chair, that'd be great.
We get a lot of chair attention.
Yeah, we do get a lot of chair. And it's like, well, if you want to take care of your throne, get swashbuckling bidets and clean that booty.
Adult diapers. You never want to get up to go to the bathroom because you're working so hard on making YouTube videos.
Yep.
Just go in your pants now with GPS diapers. Let us navigate your bowels to a protective cloth that will absorb the way Joe Burrow absorbs hits in a football game.
We got
Tied it together.
We got this. Yeah. All right. We did it. All right. So, yeah, this Bengals Chiefs game.
Boom.
Bengals Chiefs game. Yeah. I put a question in the rundown because I feel like we have predicted it. Like we've talked about it. So I'm trying to find different ways to talk about it. And the thing that I thought was pretty cool is what a win of a Super Bowl would mean for each franchise. Right? I think that's a pretty interesting question because, like, I think the Chiefs are the easy answer. That it's like, well, I mean, they have already won one in the past 3 years. Like, this will be their third Super Bowl appearance in a row. It wouldn't be like the biggest of deals. I mean, then everyone gets to. I'd get ragged on because like Patrick Mahomes has more rings than Aaron Rodgers. That would not be great. But
yeah, it's as a Broncos fan, the Chiefs getting a third Super Bowl to be tied with the Broncos for Super Bowl wins. That one's rough because then we don't have that to lord over them. 3 straight Super Bowl appearances, even if 2 are losses, is still impressive. If they win 2 of the 3, then it sucks. So yeah, Chiefs the least I want to see win, obviously. The Bengals means everything more than anyone, really.
See, I disagree actually. Well, all right, I disagree on some aspect. I think it would mean the most for the city and the franchise, because that would mean it. I think in terms of like need to win, I think that falls to the Rams, considering how they've been going all in for how long at this point. They've mortgaged their future. You know, they literally signed all these guys. If they come up short in the Super Bowl again or in the NFC Championship game, that's going to be oof. That's going to be a big oof.
The best thing that could happen for us, Tom, is the Rams winning the Super Bowl. Because the Rams will have shown a formula for getting to the Super Bowl, which is going all in on veteran players. And that is good for YouTube views. So when Von Miller gets traded mid-season to the Rams, good. When they go after a veteran QB in a crazy trade in the offseason, good for business. And if they win, other teams are going to want to follow suit. They're like, look, the way the Rams did it, we can mimic that. So I think you'll see more teams more willing to do some crazy stuff to try and get into that Super Bowl window. So, like, thinking of it in terms of making for good shows and things to talk about. The Rams winning is
Yeah.
the best for you and me personally.
I mean, not for the lore.
The
West.
lore is, but I mean,
we might be past that at this point. Like we're struggling. By the way, if the Chiefs win, I'm doing a freaking another episode through the Super Bowl. Like the series never ends. It just never ends.
Oh yeah, it goes.
It just keeps going. Now,
Chiefs Rams for lore. Well, I guess you're set either way, right?
Yep. As long as the
Double lore.
Chiefs win, it's happening again. So
Double lore.
I mean, the 49ers, like, I feel like they're number 3, like, because they have wanted, like, they've come up close, obviously, and they just haven't gotten it done. But I think, like, in terms of potential, like, who's going to be set, even if they don't win a Super Bowl, like, the 49ers, I think, are still set. They have a great defense, right? Elijah Mitchell has emerged so well. And Raheem Mostert hasn't even been playing this entire season. Like, they'll have the run game, Quattro Lance, if he works out, they're going to be real fine with that. They're going to be fine. The Bengals, again, everything has just been cake for them in terms of the way that this season has gone. You're in your second year with your franchise QB who has proven that he is the guy. On top of that, you're still rebuilding. Your offense is filled with young receivers like that are going to dominate. Joe Mixon's a great running back. You invest in the offensive line. You invest in like parts on that defense. They're going to be good for a while. So the Bengals, even if they do come up short, it's not the end of the world. The Rams, on the other hand, I feel like it's a little bit more of like, oh crap.
We haven't even mentioned this, but heading into the offseason, Cincinnati, 4th most cap space right now.
Yup.
They got $56 million in projected cap space at the moment. Is Joe Mixon going to be a free agent?
Didn't they? No, they gave him a contract, didn't they?
Did they? I don't know.
I thought they did. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Let me look here. Oh yeah, he's locked up.
4-year, $48 million.
Yeah, he locked up. So they can draft offensive line. They can free agent offensive line. They can do whatever they want.
Yep. So
they're in a great spot. Even if they get bounced this weekend, their future's bright.
Yep.
Unlike I don't know, the Saints' future looking less bright after what happened to them this week. The cap, hell, they really are there. What were you talking about before?
Can I put it real quick about the Saints thing? Do you know how many people have tagged me on Twitter and they're just like, oh no, look at this video. The Saints aren't in cap hell. They can convert all this stuff into signing bonuses and spread it out. Folks, I don't know if you understand. So real quick, just like a cap lesson here, right? So if you have a guy on a 4-year contract, right, and you want to free up some cap space, you can convert things into signing bonuses. What you can do is you could say, all right, they have 3 years left on their deal. I can spread it out so the cap hit for this year is less, but I'm going to spread it out over those next 3 years. You still have to pay that. So yes, the cap is going to go up because, I obviously had COVID, the cap went down, what have you. We made new deals. The cap is eventually just going to go up and it might be lesser of an impact, but you still have to pay those people. Like, it's not a great thing that you're doing to just kick the can down the road, especially if you're doing it and you're not competitive. Yeah. Like, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. Because if you start paying for guys who are no longer on the team or not really contributing to the team because they've gotten older and they've fallen off, guess what? You can't rebuild that team in a good way because you're not going to be able to invest in young players.
Well, it's like that video explains basically how they get back under the cap.
Like, for
this season, and it doesn't put them in a position to be players in free agency.
Correct.
It puts them in a position to be able to pay the guys that they're going to have to draft.
Correct.
So and that still leaves questions at quarterback. The silver lining there is the Saints are a good football team with a lot of key pieces.
Defense
already
is amazing.
In place. They're probably going to lose somebody. They're going to lose a guy or two. Because it's not just getting back down to 0.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we need to be able to maneuver. And if they wanted, like, they can't do anything this offseason.
Correct.
They can be okay. They're still in cap hell. The teams that have like 56 million right now, like the Bengals, are in a position to build their team however they want.
And again, you also look, because that was, you and I have talked about this. You look at who's in the playoffs right now. Matthew Stafford, veteran QB, under a big deal. Patrick Mahomes, veteran QB, under a big deal. Jimmy G, veteran QB, who has a pretty sizable deal as well. And then you have Joe Burrow on his rookie deal. Right now, the Bengals window, that thing, they tore down the wall. That's their whole window now. Like, it's wide open because they're in an amazing position where they're not paying a QB a cajillion dollars. They have a ton of cap space. So if they're like, hey, listen, for the next 2 years, we're just going to go ham, or 3 years, because you get a fifth-year extension there, 3 years, we can invest in free agency. We could do all these things. And we got to the AFC Championship game in Joe Burrow's second season. Oh, we're going to rock and roll with that.
Yeah. And like the Chargers are in the same situation. They have the second most cap.
I know you hate them. Yeah.
Cap space, 62 million. Colts, 42 million. So like all of these teams got flexibility. And the Colts could, they could make another huge play for a quarterback and just dump Wentz and eat all of his money, like if they wanted to.
Sure.
Like, that's the flexibility that the Saints do not have. So,
yeah,
it will be interesting. And the Bengals are set up, which is why they don't have to win the Super Bowl this year. And if the Rams do it, somebody said that the Buccaneers already proved that you could go all in.
Yeah.
I think the Bucs situation was different because Tom Brady was a free agent. So they didn't have to give up anything to get him. They signed guys like Gronk and Fournette, but they didn't trade for him. The Rams traded for Von Miller. They traded for did they trade for OBJ? Yeah, they traded for him, right? Or did he get released?
The Rams? Yeah, no,
I can't even remember. But they traded for Stafford too. So they're giving up assets. The Buccaneers had a good team. Their approach was, let's just sign all these guys. We got Tom Brady. We got the money to do it. And then after they won the Super Bowl, they signed everybody who helped them win the Super Bowl. So I think their situation was a little different. But
he signed with the Rams. They didn't have to trade for him. They just signed.
Because the Browns released him.
The Browns released him. Yeah.
Okay.
So, to your point too, is that the Buccaneers had the number one run defense before Brady got there. And the way they did that is because they sucked for so long that they hit home runs in the draft and they built it up through the draft and develop. And then Brady put them over the top with Brady, Fournette, Gronk, etc. So, yeah, it's like what Perna says. Like, you need to have both. The thing is if you look at the Rams, they're kind of the outliers there because they've been trading for big names. Look at the Jalen Ramsey trade, for example, right? So they were out and they got him. Like, there's so many pieces on that team, and they had to let a bunch of people go. But at the same time, like, they went all in. Like, they are an example of that. As did the Packers, though, too. Like, I want to make that point as well. The Packers did the exact same thing, and we just got lucky because, like, Devondre Campbell and Rasul Douglas turned out to be so good. But it doesn't always work, and the Rams know that from the last time, like, that they've been trying to get to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So, I don't know. The Rams are a really interesting team. I'm curious to see what their future looks like after Stafford.
Yeah, it's like, how long can they keep doing it? And so far, every time we think that they won't be able to figure it out, they do. And they're in a better. The Rams, where's their cap sitch? They're 190,000 over the cap for next season, so not the worst. Like, see, the Rams can probably do what that Saints video is saying, and then they'll have money to play with.
Yes,
being at a plus right now. They don't have to clear 72 million just to get like even. That's what was not and that video was great. Like, the guy brought up a bunch of good points, but it's not going to solve all their problems.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I do think the Chiefs, though, I do think that they beat the Bengals, unless the Bengals are just able to pull off some magic. And who knows if some of those Mahomes throws actually result in interceptions. Maybe they're able to pull off a miracle. And I think like that would be the genuine upset.
Get him, Mike Hilton. Trick him. Do what you did to Tannehill.
Last week, though, you're looking at those games, and I would say the biggest upset was like 49ers Packers.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of upset, like, because you're like, yeah, the Bengals could beat the Titans, like they're maybe a little sus at number one. Bills Chiefs could go down to the wire. And then, of course, you have the Bucks Rams. I don't think either one of those would have been an upset. Here, it's the same thing with the 49ers Rams. I don't think either team winning is an upset. They were so close. And then on top of that, you have the Bengals Chiefs, which I think would be like the true upset of the weekend if the Bengals go into Arrowhead, especially at how they played against the Bills. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like Cincinnati beating the Chiefs once, I think actually helped. Well, obviously, anytime you beat a team, like I think it just helps a lot.
Yes.
Like the Bengals are underdogs and they should be confident heading into that game because they're there. But the fact that they were able to beat Kansas City once this year, I think for a young team gives them that sort of like attitude that we can do it. And we've done it once. I don't know if Jamar Chase is going to be like the game breaker in there. We've been talking about like maybe as Joe Mixon on that offense. If the Bengals can just like, because the Bengals, they're a big play offense. And you think that's how you want to really beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But we just saw the Bills do that back and forth. Really, you want to sustain some drives against Kansas City and just keep their dumb, stupid, annoying offense on the sideline for a little bit.
Yep.
Just that's like if it's not so much Jamar Chase making big plays or the high scoring like drives. Sustain those drives, eat up clock, do it the boring way, beat them the boring way, and I think that's the pathway for the Bengals. And they got to get a turnover. They have to get a turnover or two.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing too. Kansas City, they're an interesting team because we talked about, obviously, like they've had success. They've had a lot of success in the past few years. However, when does Mahomes' contract really kick in? That's what
in the next year or two.
Is that when it starts getting like real crazy?
Who is everybody rooting for more, Joe Mixon or Tyreek Hill?
Oh, Jesus.
You think about that matchup ever?
Yeah. There you go. Dude, I mean, yeah, it starts to... Yeah. They're never going to actually fulfill this contract. There's no way. There's no way. Well, here's the thing. This year, he's a 35 mil cap hit. Next year's 46, then 44, 46, 41. Then in 2027, it jumps up to 59. Yeah. Nearly $60 million in a cap hit.
There'll be an extension restructure there, like in year 3 or 4, maybe.
Yes. Well, a lot of it is guaranteed right now. It's his base salary. So they definitely could do some stuff with a signing bonus because, yeah. But okay, that's gonna be an interesting time. And we're gonna see, because for a long time, it was this like you needed to do it the Bengals way. You need to get lucky in a 5-year window. A rookie QB comes along, cheap contract, you add a team around them, and boom, you win a Super Bowl. I think that's what a lot of franchises have subscribed to. And then you look at this playoffs, and really it's only the Bengals that are actually like living that format.
Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs got their Super Bowl in that window.
Yeah.
And now they're on the other side of it, sort of. It's funny, like, there's also, like, this idea, because Patrick Mahomes is great, but, like, Tyreek Hill he's the best receiver in the league, in my opinion. Just every week, it's just insane. Devontae Adams right there, too. But, like, Tyreek Hill, more explosive than Devontae Adams. More explosive, Tom, he's more explosive.
I'm just adding this to the video that the compilation that I'm making for why Aaron Rodgers is not going to come to Denver. Like, I'm just going to have...
Come prove me wrong, Aaron. Bring Devontae with you.
I'm just going to have Ben Kurt. Just do that.
And it was like, they locked up Kelsey. They locked up Hill. They're such big parts of the Chiefs offense. And there's this like hope, I think, from other AFC West fans. Like, well, once those guys kind of slow down or leave, the Chiefs won't be very good. They'll find, like, the other players will emerge, and the Chiefs they've got an eye for identifying those players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the idea that the Chiefs offense will slow down at some point is a lot of well-wishing.
Yeah.
It's like it won't slow down until like Patrick Mahomes can't run anymore. You know what I mean?
In like his late 20s. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to be slow until he's like 36. Russell Wilson's getting close to that area. And it's like, how can Russell Wilson adapt his game at some point?
Sure.
Don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've spent a lot of time thinking about how the Chiefs will start to suck soon. And I just don't see it.
It's not.
I just don't see it.
We're the NFL players saying I'm Brandon McManus and you're watching GPS.
Whoa. We need to do it.
We need Case Cookus. I'm Case Cookus and you're watching GPS. And then Rams, damn, like 49ers Rams game is such a toss up. Like I have to feel that the Rams like, okay, now they'll finally get it done. Like they got swept by them this season too. And it's like, okay, now we're going to get it done. But that blown lead really scares me like that. And the 49ers just know how to beat them. They know how to win.
I think like the difference for the 49ers, because all right, they both have great defensive lines.
Yep.
Okay. You got Bosa, Armstead there, and even Ebukam has played well like recently. The 49ers have an elite linebacker. Like Fred Warner is a beast. The Rams don't have that middle linebacker, inside linebacker that is a game changer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They've got guys that have been working, but if you want, like on the back end, the 49ers don't have Jalen Ramsey. So that's kind of like the trade-off in the defenses. And I don't know. I mean, you kind of want a corner who can maybe lock down, Cooper Kupp. But when you've got a linebacker like Fred Warner and you can get pressure and defend the short passing game well, I think that's an advantage in the playoffs. I mean, that said, we just watched the weekend where Stafford hit home run ball after home run ball, and the Bills and Chiefs just attacked the air deep so effectively. But I think Fred Warner is like a guy not being talked about as like a difference maker for the Niners.
He's great. Defense. He's great. No, Fred Warner is one of the best linebackers in the league. Like he's great.
Yeah. And they got Dre Greenlaw too, like next to him. Dre Greenlaw, also very good. So, it's I don't know who's going to win that game. I'm leaning towards the 49ers just because they've had the Rams number for so long.
Yeah. Makes sense. No, I think it makes a whole lot of sense. It's just if the Rams lose and they lose 3 times in the season to the 49ers, I mean, listen, I think McVay's job is very safe, but I think that there's going to be some people that are like, hey, we need to change something. And I don't even know what you begin to change. You do look at linebacker, because when Corey Littleton left, the linebackers never really got the same there. But I don't know, man. The 49, it would be a huge win for them, though. Like they would go nuts. And again, they have a chance to make history. The Steelers and the Packers only 6 seed to win a Super Bowl. So,
yeah, I mean, I think the Rams, like with Stafford moving forward, they're in a really good position.
Sure.
Where it might not work out this year, and they might be able to change their approach. When you have a quarterback that you believe in, like maybe you don't have to swing for the fences every year.
Yeah.
You can do a little more drafting, but it'll be a while before the Rams get some of those draft picks back. So
yes,
maybe they will be doing this dance, which makes them kind of fun. But like we said earlier, they're still they got all this talent, but is it still that they're just LA based? Because we earlier said they're kind of boring too. They're fun and boring at the same. It is weird. It is a weird thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, buddy. It's going to be fun. The one thing that I think was the best part of this week was the Giants coming out and saying that they're going to design an offense around Daniel Jones, which all I want is just every play is going to be like an 80-yard run, and he just falls again short of the end zone on the 1. Like, that's what I want. Like, I want them to like have Saquon Barkley just be out there blocking for Daniel Jones every play. It's just QB sneaks and draws every single play. Every single one.
I don't know what the Giants are doing right now because
I don't think the Giants know what the Giants are doing.
they interviewed Brian Flores again. Him and Dable are finalists, supposedly.
Yep.
They hire Joe Shane over from Buffalo.
Good
He
hire.
wants Dable. And now John Mara is like, but I want Brian Flores.
You know what needs to happen? John Mara needs to go away.
Yeah, he really does. He doesn't know what he's doing. And now the Saints are set to interview Brian Flores. I think that's interesting. And the Raiders want to interview Josh McDaniels.
Oh, God,
Also
Raiders.
interesting.
Well, you love that.
Kinda, but I'm kind of scared that like Josh McDaniels has had enough time to learn like how bad he messed up being a head coach the first time around. And
do you really think that though? Like, do you?
I do. And I think Josh McDaniels would make Derek Carr a better quarterback. And I think Derek Carr is like decent enough. So like, I want to just assume Josh McDaniels would go into Las Vegas and destroy the organization the same way he did to the Broncos in 1.5 seasons. One of the all-time worst. I want to believe that, but
I want that in my hearts of hearts.
I believe humans, I believe coaches, I believe they evolve over time.
Like Mike McCarthy.
To get better. Yeah, well, there are exceptions. There are also coaches who get too many chances. There are coaches
like Vic Fangio. Sorry, what?
Well, like Vic Fangio was.
I hope the Jaguars bring him in. I hope the Jaguars bring him in so bad. I want to see it so bad. Like that organization's just tanking before their season even begins.
Vic Fangio earned a chance to be a head coach. He was in the NFL for like 40 years.
Yep.
It just wasn't the right fit at the right time. But Vic Fangio would be a good head coach on a team that has a proven quarterback, and that's all he needed, really.
So he's perfect for the Jaguars.
Yep.
I just want
that'd be a bad fit.
Can you imagine Pat Shurmur goes there too?
Oh my God.
He's like, listen,
another guy.
You're just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But all right, we did it. By the way, Bears, if you touch Luke Getsy, we're gonna
that's right.
We are gonna throw hands.
Oh wait, hold on. I made you one other present, Tom. I forgot.
Oh, thank you so much.
I made you one more present.
So
What's up, Broncos country? This is Coach Nathaniel Hackett talking to you from Green Bay. On my way, all packed up, ready to get to Denver. Very excited. Let's get ready to win some football games. What's up, Broncos country? What's up, Broncos country? What's up, Broncos country?
That's my coach. That's my coach. Now, what if he takes your O-line running backs coach? What's his name?
Adam Stenovich.
Stenovich. What if he takes Stenovich and then Getsy goes to the Bears? And then Aaron Rodgers leaves. Welcome to the world that I used to live in.
I thought we were friends, Brandon.
Oh, we are, Tom.
I thought we were friends.
We are friends.
I don't know about that, Perna. I don't know about that.
What's up, Broncos country?
And I love how he said in Green Bay, all packed up. There's an emphasis on the packed.
Yeah.
Like,
I got to match that up with George Payton. He did like a video for Broncos country, and then he was like, he ended it with this like really cheesy peace sign. He's wearing like these jeans that are kind of hugging his crotch in the picture. It's like, it's good. I'm going to mash that up for us.
Meow.
There you go.
I hope Teddy Bridgewater signs an 18-year deal with the Denver Broncos as their starting QB.
Don't you put that on
years.
me. Don't you put that on me.
18 years. Aaron Rodgers, he goes into Denver. You trade, you get like 3 first-round picks. You give up for him. You give a star player for him too. And he's there for a day. And it's just like, nah, I'm good. And retires.
Okay. That's fair.
What's up, Broncos country?
That's my coach. That's my coach.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving and I don't know if I'm coming back. Well, folks,
did
we
it.
had over 2,700 people in here again for the Friday before the championship games. Brandon Perna and I will be back on Sunday because we're going to be streaming the AFC Championship game together as the kitty is going to go meow.
That's the early game. Did you know that, Tom?
I did.
Okay. I was in my head thinking it was the late game, and then I saw it was the early game. I was like, oh no. Are we doing the Rams then? Good. Because I want to stream AFC.
Yes.
All right.
No, we're doing that. Yep. You know why I knew that the NFC was later? Because I thought it could be a primetime Lambeau game.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been so nice.
Didn't help.
Maybe next year with Jordan Love.
I am going to curse your team so hard. I am going to order a Broncos voodoo doll, just like I have one with the Bears.
Can't hurt me. I've been living in mediocrity. You curse me and things get really bad, I'll embrace it. We're going one or two ways, great or horrible, and I don't care as long as it's not half-ass mediocre.
Aaron Rodgers plays because he really just gets consumed by his ego and plays the entire season with one hand tied behind his back, and it's his right hand.
Whoa.
So he throws lefty.
If Aaron Rodgers came, the worst thing, he comes to the Broncos and all of a sudden he leads the league in interceptions for some reason. That would be horrible. That would be horrible.
For who? For who? And I'm going to point to this episode and I'm going to play the Nathaniel Hackett thing over and over and over and over again.
And Devontae Adams goes to the Raiders.
Yep.
And leads the league in receiving yards and touchdowns.
Yep.
And Tyreek Hill is not good anymore. Like everything I said, the opposite is just true. Is that what you're looking for?
Yep.
All right. Fair enough.
All right.
Well, I wish you the best of luck and all the success.
You just said maybe facetiously that they'll get to the NFC Championship game with Jordan Love. And I know that's being facetious.
What's up, Broncos country?
I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. You've been navigated. Where to? Hell. I'm done.
Hell. Your destination is the fiery depths